If you're feeling stuck in your creative career, you are not alone. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 levels of clarity that have helped me time and time again move from a place of feeling stuck in my creative career to feeling like I'm back in the control seat, like I'm thriving and I'm living my best creative career life. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. This video is essentially a clarity workshop. So I've gone ahead and created a free downloadable 5 levels of clarity worksheet in order for you to follow along with the video and get the most out of it. I would encourage you to pause this video, go to the description box, grab the worksheet, and then come back here and follow along. Typically, lack of motivation isn't the issue, it is lack of clarity. Because when we're super clear about why we're doing the thing and all the levels, and I'm going to go over these 5 levels, then it is the ultimate piece of the puzzle. If we hit a bump in the road or something is difficult at work, in our environment or in a task or a project or with a person, we can keep going because we are so clear about why we are doing the thing. It is like such an important piece. So the first level of clarity is vision, and I want to share my vision board for 2025. I took many hours to put this together, and I love this so much because this really embodies all of my values: worthiness, creativity, integrity, love, communication, and intuition, and of course, compassion. I'm the compassionate muse, right? I actually printed this out on canvas through Canva. I ordered it through Canva, and I just love it. And I have it in my office to remind me on a regular basis of why I do what I do. It is my vision manifested into a vision board. So the 5 levels of clarity are vision, values, identity, environment, and planning. Let's start with vision. Vision for me is at the top. When I think of vision, I think of it's almost like an umbrella or an overarching container that holds all the other levels inside of it. It is the why. Why are you going where you're going? This would be a great reflection question for you to ask yourself when you're trying to understand what your vision for your creative career is. Why are you going where you're going? What is so important to you about this direction? And so I want to remind you that you have a worksheet and follow along with. All the prompts are inside. For me, vision, without it, I would have probably quit what I am working in right now, which is probably my most creative and my most powerful work yet in compassion-based work for people working in music media, the arts and entertainment. I run a beautiful creative coaching community, and I also work as head of people and culture for a company that's building a compassionate culture. I put this into action every day, and the vision helps remind me why this work is so important, because believe me, it is not easy work. We're dealing with lots of different types of personalities. We're dealing with lots of different environments and different situations with people and things and projects, creative and otherwise, that require lots of attention, and it can be very intense work. I don't mind it most days, but there's some days, just like everybody, I have days where I'm just like, why am I doing this again? And then I remind myself, oh, right, because this is the vision. This is why I wake up every day and do the thing. The second level of clarity is values. When I talk about values, I usually talk about intrinsic core values. These are your essence. They are you from the inside out. It's not, in the economy's values or your environment's values. Those typically are belief systems, and belief systems can change over time based on your environment. This is who you are and what you value from the inside out. They rarely change over the course of your life. I just love leaning into core values because it's like, well, what matters most to me? That's the reflection question. What matters most to you? What matters to you? If someone, God forbid, was holding a gun to your head, you wouldn't change your mind no matter what, because it's who you are, it's your essence. What matters most? Why is it so important to you? Those are your core values. Once I got clear on my core values, my entire life and career changed, like completely, and it happened very quickly. I highly recommend that you get clear on your values too. Number 3 is identity. So having clarity of who you are is very important. It's very important. It's especially important to your boundaries. Like, what are you willing to accept and what are you not willing to accept because of who you are? It helps set healthy boundaries along the way. And that is so important because as creatives and creative entrepreneurs and people in creative careers, a lot of us are people pleasers and we want to do all the things, but that's how we drain our energy and our power and we lose clarity and focus. So it's really important to that clarity piece to really understand who you are. And one of the reflection questions you can ask is, who are you becoming? This is a great coaching question. I use this a lot in session. Who are you becoming in the journey of your creative career? Number 4 is environment. And environment's a big one. Oftentimes we feel like we don't necessarily have control of our environment, and to a degree that is true. But if you can be intentional about your environment, who would you surround yourself with? What would it look like? How do you want to feel in your environment, right? So different levels, sensory levels. What are you seeing? What are you hearing in your environment? What does it feel like to be in your environment? Ideally, what do you want this to look and feel like as you move through your creative career? And so putting some intention behind that may shift the way you make choices moving forward. It may not, but it might. It might open up some new opportunities. If you see them come your way, you might go, oh, I think there's something about this that I want to move towards, rather than running away from something, right? You're being very proactive and intentional about the environment that you want to step into. So that's a really important clarity piece. Number 5 is planning. And planning is all about the logistics. This is the how, the where, the what, and the when. This is super important because this essentially describes what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and your approach. So it's very operational in nature, and we cannot move forward in our creative careers without it. This is where our trade skills live. This is where we show up and do the work that we are trained in, and where we bring our level of expertise in the logistical show up and do the work. And it's really important to have the other levels because all those other levels support this level, and it makes it feel more holistic. All of this is so motivating, and without it, it's like the kiss of death for a creative career. So I strongly encourage you to take an hour, maybe 2, sit down and work through this worksheet. Really be honest and real with yourself as you answer these questions. There's prompts in the worksheet, and get the most out of it by sitting with the question. Ask yourself the question and maybe allow yourself some space to just sit with the question before answering it immediately, and see what comes up for you. Be mindful in your approach. I always find that even more information flows when I'm practicing mindful work. So I invite you to try that. You've got this. And I wish you so much success with this. Your success is mine. And if this is interesting to you and you love this type of content, please stay connected with me in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're looking for next in terms of career coaching, success, and support. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.